Perfect. So you guys should be able to see me now. I should be pinned. If not, it's fine. Don't worry. You don't need to see my beautiful face. We just need to see the charts, and that's what I'm going to go on. So let me just quickly share my screen on my phone, and then we can get to business. So okay, perfect. So everyone should see my screen in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, everyone should see my screen now. If I just, oh no, let me try again. Okay, cool. Can everyone see my screen? No? Okay, let me just do that one more time. Okay, that should be. Okay, cool. Perfect. Everyone should be able to see my screen in 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Finally, we got there in the end. So this is what if you're new, I'm going to go through this really quickly on how to place a trade. So if you're new, this is what your MetaTrader 5 should look like. This is a demo account, so I can show you guys an example. And the first thing you want to do when you get started is you want to click on the pencil button here, and you want to delete all the different currencies that you have here. This is because I saw a lot of people last week, they were placing trades on silver instead of gold. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you've deleted everything. So you're not placing trades on a different currency pair and losing money because, again, all currencies, they move differently. And make sure you have XAUUSD. How you do that is you go to search. You search for the currency here, XAUUSD. Just press the little tick and it will come up there. I'm going to also add in Bitcoin just because that's the only market that's open right now. So I can just show you how to copy and paste a trade. So that's that. On top of that, also have your Telegram chat. So you want to be added into the 2 chats. I actually sent this in the group chat earlier this week. So if you're not added into the chats today, please let anyone signed you up know. So either Montel, Angel, or Sharmina, if you signed up directly with them or myself, please message us after this call and we'll make sure that you're added in the chat. Make sure your accounts are funded with minimum 300 to 500 to start trading for the new week. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So when you first start trading, what I'm going to do first is quickly go and break down some basics for you guys. So XAUUSD, this is your currency pair. When you enter a trade, you're going to have your entry, your stop loss, and your take profit. Your entry is where you enter into the market. Your stop loss is a barrier set to prevent you from losing money. And then your take profit is a barrier set to take your profit once. Barrier set, sorry, that will automatically take you out of trade when in profit. So that's all the things that you have when you're entering a trade. So then you have things like moving stop loss to entry. I'm going to get into that. So when you get into a trade, you're also going to have pips as well, right? You're going to have pips and you're going to have your lot size. Your pips is just the measurement of the movement in the market. For example, if I was to walk from here to that door over there, I'm going to be moving a certain amount of centimeters or meters or whatever. The market, it moves in pips. So it'll go up and down a certain amount of pips, or it'll go down a certain amount of pips. Then you have your lot size, and that's the risk that you're entering into the trade. So you'll have a 0.01, which is your micro lot. Micro lot size, that is equivalent to 10p per pip. Then you have a 0.10, that is a mini lot size, which is equivalent to £1 per pip. And then you have your standard. So that's the 1.00. This is your standard lot size, and that's equivalent to £10 per pip. If you guys are following me so far, just drop a yes in the chat. Perfect, amazing. So that's your lot size. Then you have your pips, right? So for example, let's go back to our market. Let's go to chart here. So you're gonna have here the number on this side. Can anyone tell me the number which is the market price right now? So where gold is currently right now. Can you just drop that in the chat for me? Let's see if you guys know. Perfect. Sorry guys, can you hear me now? You can hear me? Yep, perfect. You can see me again, yeah? Perfect. So you guys are right. It's 4218.58. That is the current market price right now. So I'm gonna go and put that in my notes. 4218. So now, when the market is moving in pips, right? Usually the first TP is like 40 pips. So usually in a trade, we want to catch at least 100 to 150 pips. So if the market was to move up from 4218 to, let's go on the 5-minute time frame, 4218 to 4223, how many pips would the market have moved up? Just drop that in the chat if you guys know. So from 1.8 to 2.3, how many pips would that be? Perfect. It would have been 50 pips. So not 5 pips, it would be 50 pips. Right? So all you have to do is look at the last two numbers before the decimal point, and then literally either add or subtract, and that will tell you how many pips it would be. So from 4218 to 4219, that's 10 pips. From 4218 to down to 4217, that's minus 10 pips. So again, for a buy and a sell, if the market's going up, it's either going to go up 10 pips, and then if it's going down, it's either going to go down 10 pips, and you'll make money either way, depending if you're buying or selling. So if that makes sense, just drop a yes in the chat, just so I know you guys are with me. That's literally how to calculate pips. And once you know this is the most important thing you need to know of trading. If you can calculate pips, you'll be able to make money. If you can calculate pips and you can move your stop loss to entry when needed, you'll be able to make money. So what you want to write down today is whenever you are 30 to 40 pips in profit from your entry, move your stop loss to your entry point. How you do that? Your entry. So let's say I place a random trade here, right? Right, I'm going to place a random trade here. This is going to go from, my entry price will be the number directly below the currency pair. So the number directly below the currency pair here, so the currency pair is obviously BTC USD. What is the number directly below the currency pair? It's 639.65. That is my entry. So the number on the right-hand side, that's the current price of the market, and that's the number that's going to be always moving up or down, right? It's going to be going up, it's going to be going down, it's going to be doing whatever. The number directly below the currency pair, so the BTC USD, and obviously tomorrow it would be XAUUSD, that will be your entry point. So whenever you're modifying your stop loss to entry, you're just going to copy that number, go to modify position, and you're going to put it at stop loss, press modify, done. Now, MetaTrader 5 is actually an incredible app. Let me tell you why. Because you can actually so let me go on 15. What you can do is you can click on the line, right? So click on the line where it says basically buy. You can press the stop loss button at the bottom. You can move that line below your entry or above your entry. So, and you can just slide and it will modify for you. It's not going to do it for me right now because it's not really in profit. But for example, if I wanted to put my stop loss and I only wanted to use £12 in that trade, I'll put my stop loss above. I'll slide and press modify. I think the market's just, let me see if it works now. Oh, sorry, has to be down. I'm gonna buy. So let's say I only want to lose £17. I'll slide and it will be done that way. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, just drop a yes in the chat. This has helped me so much trading because it's so like confusing sometimes to just quickly think of the number in your head, wherever the entry is, and then modify. But if you just use these little stop loss and TP buttons, guys, it's so much better. You just slide, modify, all done for you, right? So this is a little hack that I learned last week, and it's honestly been helping me so much because I don't have to come off the chart screen and keep moving from chart to trade. I literally just have to use my just click on the buy where it says buy, use the stop loss and TP buttons, move it up to TP1, TP2, or move my stop loss to wherever, and then when I'm in profit, move my stop loss into profit, and yeah, I'm done. So if that makes sense, just drop a yes in the chat. This is something that would definitely help you moving forward into the week because it's so much easier when placing a trade. So just drop a yes in the chat if that makes sense so far. Yep. Perfect. Let me see a bit more yeses. If not, and you want me to go over it again, let me know. Yes. Yes. Perfect. So that's that. Now, whenever you enter a trade, right, you're going to have your stop loss, your take profit two, and then your entry. So tomorrow, when a signal comes out, Ish actually said this on the call. He said, don't wait to the entry because he's done all the waiting for you. So if he says sell now, buy now, you just literally go to trade. You go to chart. The top right-hand corner, you're going to have the circle and let me see if I can draw on my screen. No problem. But anyways, at the top, you're going to have the sell button and the buy button, right? You're going to have the sell button and the buy button. So what I always make sure I have whenever I'm entering a trade is I go to quotes, click on XAUUSD, I go to chart, and I make sure my phone and my chart is always lined up because we don't trade any other currency pair but gold anyways. So you want to make sure that it looks like that all the time. So when a trade comes in, let me show you on Bitcoin because the market's closed. You can press buy straight away or you can press sell straight away and it will enter you into the market straight away. After that, you can then go here, go to modify, then add your stop loss and take profit. If you are new, I'll go over it, guys. Don't worry if you're getting a bit confused. I'll go over it again. So if you are new, I would advise you to go for TP2 and have 2 entries per signal. So most of you guys, if you're new, you would have a balance of over 300 to 500. So what I would recommend is use a 0.05 to 0.10 and you enter once straight away when it says buy or sell. And then when your trade goes into a drawdown, which I will go into, you can enter again. So your first entry, you will enter in for TP2. And then your second one, you can put either TP3 or TP4. And then I'm just going to go over that again. So let me go back onto my notes. So if you're new, you want to enter twice. Enter twice. 0.05 to 0.10. And this is if you have a balance of over 300, which most of you guys should do in this chat. And then first entry, TP2, second entry, TP3 or 4. If you're a bit more experienced, then of course go for TP4. If you're not and you're new, you can just use TP3, or you can just do both at TP2. So what I mean by when your account goes into a drawdown, so let me go back into my charts here. When you enter, so let me quickly close all of this and I'll do it again. So when I go into, let's say trade's coming out right now and it's saying XAUUSD buy, I will go to buy now straight away. Now, when the market's going down now, so let's say I bought at 5812. What is minus 30 pips from 5812? Can someone drop that in the chat? So let's say my first entry is at 5812. Yeah, 5812. What is minus 30 pips from that? 5809. Perfect. Right. So if it goes minus 20 to 30 pips, I will enter again. And I will keep it as that. Yeah, I will only have 2 layers per signal. That's if I'm new. Yeah. Of course, if you are more experienced, you can have as many layers as you want. But if you're new, I would 100% only say 2 entries per signal. So if that makes sense, just drop a yes in the chat for now, guys. Again, if you're getting confused by anything, don't worry. I'll answer any questions later on. Yeah, perfect. Amazing. Let me see a bit more. Yes. Repeat again. Perfect. So if I enter a trade, so let's say it says buy now at, so let's use this market price for gold. Let's say it says buy now at 4218. If for it buy, right, you want the market to go up in profit. If it goes down, it's going to go into a drawdown, right? It's going to go into minus. So if it goes minus 20 to 30 pips, so 4218 minus 20 to 30 pips will be around 4216 or 4215. When it goes down 20 to 30 pips, I will enter again. I will have another position. This is called layering, right? You're layering your positions. So once that second entry goes into profit, you will be overall in profit by the time it gets into your first entry, rather than you only having 1 entry open. Does that make sense? So it's not how long after, it's just about the pips. So that could take a few seconds, that could take a few minutes, whatever. It's just 20 to 30 pips. If the market goes into a drawdown, so for a buy, if it goes down 20 to 30 pips, you enter again. For a sell, right? If it goes up 20 to 30 pips, you enter again. So just let me know if that makes sense in the chat. Can I see some yeses, please? Perfect. Amazing. And then another term you might hear in the chat is take partials. So you can only take partials if your lot size is over like 0.02, right? I would only take partials if I'm using like a 0.10 because you'll have more money to take partials off. So how you take partials is, let's say this trade is running, right? You're going to go to close. And then your lot size here. So let's say this was a point. It's a 0.20. It's a 0.20. Let's say I want to close half of my trade in profit and I want to leave the other half running. I will go here, press -10, and then I'll press close. It will say profit, obviously, yes, tomorrow when you're in profit, and you'll close. That's closing partials. You can close half, so 0.10, or you might want to close only 0.5 of your trade in profit. If I'm in £20 profit and I'm using a 0.20, I might just want to secure £5. So I will put it to 0.05 and it will close me out £5 profit. That's just an example. So if that makes sense to close partials, let me know. It does say that in the chat a lot to close partials. That's just to ensure that you're just securing profit. Sorry, this one, can you repeat again? Yeah. So, excuse me, sorry. So when they're telling you to close partials, you go. So when you have 2 trades, you can either close partials as in close 1 entry. So your first entry, you can close that one in profit completely and leave the lowest entry running. Or you can just go to your lot size. If you have a 0.10 and above, go to close position. You can make it 0.05 and it will close only 0.05 of your 0.10 in profit. Does that make sense? Yeah, perfect. Amazing. What I would recommend is personally having 2 trades open and then closing your worst entry in profit. Now, I'm going to go over what it means by your worst entry. So let me use Bitcoin again, for example, right? Actually, you know what? Let me go back. Let me stop sharing here. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah? Perfect. Like, can you please stop drawing on the screen if you are? I don't know how to disable that. Okay. So let me just delete all of this. Clear page. Great. Oh, good. So everyone can see my screen. So let me just... Okay. So no one should be able to draw on my screen now. Perfect. If you can see my screen, please just drop a yes in the chat. Sorry. So I know you guys can see, and then I'll go over the market. Perfect. Great, 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 great. So for a uptrend, right? So for trading, you have an uptrend and you have a downtrend. So right here, uptrend is for a buying market. And then you have a downtrend, which is a selling market. So let's say this is gold, right? It's going up, and then we're going to have a downtrend as well, yeah? So, yeah. So let's say your first entry is for the sell is here. Let's say this is your first entry and this is your second entry. I'm going to write, where's my pencil? I'm going to write 1 here, and this is my second entry. So if I was in a buy in this market on the uptrend bit, would number 1 be my best entry or would number 2 be my best entry? Just drop it in the chat. Would number 1 be my best entry or number 2? Number 2, right? Why would number 2 be my best entry? Because it's lower, right? For an uptrend, so for a buy, you want to be as low as possible. So whenever a trade is sent out, it's going to give you 2 numbers. It's going to say buy between X and Y. So it could be say buy between 4.4812 and 487. Right? It's going to say buy between those 2 numbers. So ideally, when you're looking at that, you want to buy as low as possible, right? So sometimes when I enter a trade, I might wait a few seconds for it to go as low as possible, or go as low, like 20, 30 pips, whatever, and I will buy again. That will now be my better entry, right? And then your first entry, so number 1, that would be my worst entry. So whenever you're in a trade and they're saying close parcels or close your worst entries, that's why you only do that if you have more than 1 entry open. So if I'm in a trade and I've got 2 entries open, and the market is here, it's gone down here, and now it's gone back up. When it goes back up and it goes to my first entry, I will now close this entry. I will move my stop loss to entry at my best entry, and I'll leave the trade running for TP4. So a lot of people ask how I'm able to make a lot of money. Guys, I always wait for TP4, and how I'm able to do that is 1, by layering and moving my stop loss to entry. I usually move my stop loss to entry after TP2 because now it's had room to go up and down. Because sometimes you might move your stop loss too early at TP1, and then it might go back down to your entry, close you out, break even. That's why I would say wait and move your stop loss after TP2, because you've given it enough room to now breathe. And now given that space for it to now go up to TP3, TP4, TP5, even TP6. If that makes sense, just drop a yes in the chat. Yes, perfect. So this is how you can maximize your profits. Obviously, hitting TP1, TP2 on every trade is amazing. You can do that too. But if you want to catch more pips, that's what I would advise you to do. Sorry, cut out when break even. So I would go to break even on my trade on my better entry after TP2. TP2 is usually 50 to 60 pips in profit. So that's when I would move my stop loss to entry, because I've given it now room to go up and down, hit my entry a couple of times and whatever. It never lets me close the entry only. It only lets me take partials from a trade as you explained or close. So it never closes your first entry only. It should let you, if you click on your first entry and press close position, it will close position. entirely. If that happens to you tomorrow, then you can private message me and I can help you with that. Because I'm not really getting that. Renz, do you move your stop loss to your exact entry or just above for a buy or just below for a sell? Always just below for a sell or just above for a buy. I do not want to stop out in -1 pound. And I think if I'm in a trade, I will move it at least like 10 pips in profit. So at least I secure something, right? And that's called moving your stop loss in profit. And I do this a lot when I'm when I'm going for TP5 or TP6. If I've got a really good entry and the market's at like TP4 and I'm waiting for it to hit TP5 or TP6, I will now modify my stop loss number to TP3. So if worst comes to shove and it comes all the way back down to entry, it will stop me at TP3 and at least I've caught 60 pips of profit rather than catching nothing. Does that make sense? Please drop a yes in the chat. If that makes sense. Yeah. Yes. Perfect. Amazing. Now for a downtrend. So again, for a downtrend, the higher you are, the higher your entry is, the more profit that you'll make. So let's do what I was doing again. Okay, so in the chat box, let me know if number 4 or number 5 is my better entry for this selling market on the downtrend. Perfect. Number 5. Number 5 is my better entry because it's my higher entry. So if I now enter that number 5 and Ish in the chat has now said move your stop loss to entry or close your worst entries. Once my trade goes past my entry of number 4, I will close number 4. I will move my stop loss to number 5 to entry or just a bit above, and I will let that trade run now to TP4, TP5, whatever. Now, this is really important, guys. Moving your stop loss is honestly your best friend, and I tell this to everybody. Yes, sometimes when you hit your stop loss, you lose money or whatever, but that's what it's there for. Would you rather lose £50 or blow your whole account? Would you rather lose £100 and blow your whole account? Which one? You got to choose which one you would rather. Because there's been so many times that I've been trading for 8 years, guys. Yeah, any mistake that you've done, I've probably done it even worse, right? Sometimes I used to get into a bubble where I didn't want to close a trade, not even a minus 30p, right? I would be waiting for it to go back to entry. That is honestly just you being a psychopath. You should not do that. Just firm the loss, because I would rather just, sometimes when I've done it, I'll be like, Sharmina knows this, right? Because we used to do this together all the time. I would rather be like, oh, I should have just closed it at £100 because I would have been able to make that back in the next trade, rather than me now I've lost over £700 and it's going to take me forever to make it back and then make profit on top of that, rather than me just firming it as £100 loss, being able to make that back in the next trade and then be able to carry on making profit. Because most of the time when you're holding on to trades and you're letting it go past and blow your account or go past entry and now you've lost a big chunk of money, you realize now you're trading for the whole day just to recover than to make profits. Am I right? All right. So if that makes sense, just drop a yes in the chat, guys. Please use stop losses. They are your best friend, right? Get used to moving your stop loss to entry as well, because that's the most important thing. Once you use your stop loss to entry, I would rather I come out at break even than me losing £100-200. I'd rather that, because if I come out at break even, that's great. If it goes down even more, let's say it's a buy, right? And I come out at break even. If it goes down even more, well, guess what? I'm now at a better entry. So I can now enter a better entry. I might enter a bit higher on my lot side and I'll be able to catch more pips and make more money. Does that make sense? So getting stopped out at break even isn't a bad thing. It sometimes allows you to get a better entry rather than being in the drawdown. You can double up on your profit and make even way more. So yeah, if that makes sense, just let me know. If you are new now, I'm talking to my new people. If you are new and now it makes sense how to enter a trade, please say yes in the chat, or no. If it's no, then let me know as well. But if you're new and you'll be able to place a trade from tomorrow onwards, let me know if everything makes sense. So if your BE hits, you're entering a better position. 100%. Guys, trading, yeah, it's about sniper entries. One thing about me, I love a sniper entry. I don't like entering trades mid in trend, anything. I like being at the bottom of the trend and catching the whole buy, or at the top of the trend and catching the whole sell, because that's how you can make so much more money. Put your stop loss to entry, and you know it's not going to hit you at break even because you have such a good entry. When you have bad entries and you're entering mid trend, or you're entering at TP1 or whatever, you realize, okay, cool, it's so much easier for you to hit break even because you're in the middle of the buy or in the middle of the sell. Whereas if you have a really good entry and you're patient, you can make so much more. I've never re-entered war, then watched it go a million. I've never watched it go. Yeah, guys, that happens to me all the time. Sometimes I don't re-enter. That's why the trade is always valid until it hits stop loss. So whenever you see a trade and it's like still in the area of the entry, so let's say a trade comes out tomorrow and you've seen it 5 minutes later, sometimes in 5-10 minutes it's still lingering around the entry price. You can still enter, right? That's why it's always important to look at the entry prices. If the trade is in the entry zone, you are able to enter. As long as it hasn't hit stop loss, the trade is still valid. A lot of times I will enter in when it's a better entry and then it won't go back, or up into profit, then I hold in and not putting a stop and then blow my account. Yep. Again, the reason why is because you're not putting a stop loss, guys. Again, if you put a stop loss, it's fine. Firm the L. And I've done that so many times. Trust me, I've done that so many times. I've lost the way I've made 8K in a day last time. I've also had days where I've lost 8K in a day or even more than that. And from those days, it scarred me so much. And I said I will always put my stop loss because it is not worth it, guys. Yeah. Okay, cool. The break even you mentioned, can you show us how to do it without going minus again? Because I think I'm doing it too early. Yeah. So as I said, once your trade is at TP2, that's when I will move my stop loss to my entry. Because then it's not too early. You've given your trade enough room to breathe. So yeah, let me know if that makes sense, Patricia. And that's usually if you're aiming for TP1, you don't have to move your stop loss to entry. You only move your stop loss to entry if you're going for TP3 and onwards, ideally. If you're for TP1, in profit. And then if you go in for TP3 and above, that's when I would move my stop loss to entry and allow my trade to either go up, down, whatever it needs to do. So that's that. Perfect. Okay, now let's do Q&A. So let me stop sharing my screen. Okay. I don't know how to use the new Zoom, guys, so bear with me. Perfect. Amazing. You guys can see me now. Great, great, great. Okay, so this is question time. Please, can you guys answer any questions you want? I don't want to hear people struggling tomorrow because you had the opportunity to ask me a question today. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them all. Is it smart when you send a signal and it goes positive to take full profit and the price returns to the entry level, or is it a little negative to re-enter the position? Again, let me read that again. Is it smart when you send a signal and if it goes into positive to take full profit and the price returns to entry level? Or so it really depends where, like, it just depends how, like, when the trade is sent. So sometimes I would say just collect your profit and go. That's also another thing I would recommend, guys, is have a daily profit target. The reason why a lot of people lose money trading is because they don't know where to stop. So they'll make a good amount of money and they'll continue going. And then it's like you don't know where to stop and then you end up losing a lot. So what I do, I give myself a target for the day. Once I've hit my target for the day, and guys, when you give yourself a target, it might be £500 a day, right? If you've made £499, it's fine. Call it a day. You've made your profit, right? If you've made £480, that's fine. Call it a day. Make your profit. That's it. When you try to make the extra £1 or £2, extra £5, that's when you realize, okay, cool, I'm now losing and I already made profit. I should have stopped at that. So that's why I would always recommend just having a target goal for the day and just stopping when you're done. So yeah, I would say take full profit, and then when it enters to your entry again, this is called scalping, right? So if you're in the scalping chart, that's how it is. Scalping is basically so the market, you see this a lot. We saw this a lot last week. It will be going up and down in a certain area. So it might be from 4819 to from 4812 and 4819. It goes up and down in those areas multiple times before it breaks up to an uptrend or breaks down to a downtrend. So yeah, you can take just full profits and just re-enter. That's also really good. I do that a lot as well sometimes. I hope that's answered your question. Do you advise doing 2 entries on all trades? Yeah. If you want to maximize your profits, go 2 entries per signal. As long as you have your stop loss, you'll be fine. And guys, if you lose money, like it's fine. If a trade hits stop loss, please do not get upset. If you're minus £10, £100, please do not be upset. Because if you guys want to make 8K a day, if you want to make 7K a day, if you want to make 10K a day, you've got to be willing to have a couple L's. Like I haven't got to where I am without taking no L's or without having no losses. So whenever you have a loss or you hit a stop loss, it's okay, right? It's honestly okay. Do not panic. Because you're going to make money overall at the end of the day. That's how you got to see it. Because if you see our signals, it's over 80% accuracy, right? At the end of the day, if you do take all of the trades, you will be in profit if you're using the correct risk, if you're moving your stop loss to entry, if you're securing profit when needed. So yeah, I would definitely advise to take 2 entries on all trades. How much is 1 pip at a 0.1 level? 0.1 level. Are you talking about 1 pip or 10 pips? 10 pips is around £7. So if you're using a 0.10, let me also break down these pips, guys. Yeah, this is how you know how much money you can make. If you're using a 0.10 on every signal and you're catching TP4, you'll make £70 per signal. That's 100 pips. 100 pips on a 0.10 is £70. Now we get sent around 7 to 8 trades a day. Times that by 7 to 8, 7 times 7, 70 times 7 is £490. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's £490. £490? £70 times 7. Yep, 490. I'm really good at maths. I don't know. It is, yeah? Perfect. It's £490. So think of it like that. So if you have if you have a 0.05, that would be again £245. If you've done that for all the trades. So this is something that's really good. 0.10 is every 10 pips is £7, about around £7. So when you're working out lots and pips and stuff like that, you can kind of predict how much money you'll make when the trade is over. Also on the chart, if you just click your TP line, it will show you how much money you will make once the trade has hit profit. When the trade hits profit, how much money you will make in that trade. So that's also quite good as well. So I hope that answers your question, Peter. What lot size do you advise? So guys, I'm not here to advise any lot size. It's all down to you guys, how much you're willing to risk, how much you're willing to trade. It's all down to you. I can only tell you from experience of what I'm doing, right? But I would recommend, what I can recommend is 0. If you're new and you're a beginner, I would say practice with 0.05, 2 entries per signal. Once you're confident and you've done that, then you can now increase to a 0.10 or 0.20 or whatever. But don't move too ahead of yourself. You might see people in the chat doing a standard lot, right? A 1.00. And guys, that is not for the weak, right? It takes me a lot of time to get to a standard lot size. So whenever you're seeing people in the chat and they're using bigger lot size and make money, just know your time is coming. Do not compare yourself, especially if you're new. And I've seen a lot of beginners do this. They've started, and when you're a beginner, your first month, let me tell you this, your first month should be to learn. It shouldn't be about profit. It shouldn't be about anything. It should be about to learn the market. Because once you've learned everything, you know how to confidently enter and exit a trade, then you can reach for the stars, make however much you want. So if you're a beginner on this call right now, your main goal and your main objective this month for the next 4 weeks should be to learn as much as you can. Plug into the every Tuesday call, plug into every Thursday call. If we do calls like this every week or so, plug into those calls and learn as much as you can, because then you'll be confident to risk more and then essentially make more as well. So that's my advice to all new beginners, because I see a lot of new beginners sometimes get a bit disheartened, motivated because they're not making much as much money as everyone else in the chat. Remember, everyone in the chat has started at different points of time, right? They might have 3 years experience. They might have, be like me, have 8 years experience, or they might have whatever experience it may be. Do not compare their results to yours, right? So as I said this in the chat, me and Angel said this last week, don't compare our day 1,000, our day 100 to your day 1. You will get there in time. Trading is just about consistency, right? Even when you have bad days, it's not about, okay, cool, just because I've had a bad day today, I'm going to give up. I'm not going to trade anymore tomorrow. No, it's about literally sticking to it and keep going every single day, regardless if you make losses. Keep showing up, learn as much as you can, and eventually you'll get to the days where you're making consistent profit every single day, right? I started trading 2018, guys. I wasn't even able to make £5 a day, yeah, let alone right now I'm averaging 1K to 2K, sometimes 3K every single day, right? And it's crazy to even say that right now, but it's because I always set my bar high every time, right? Last year, all I wanted to do was make 10K a month. That's what I wanted to do. Right? If you was in MLM and know me from MLM, most people in MLM, all they wanted to do was make 10K a month. I'm now having sometimes 10K days or 10K weeks. And I'm only able to do that because I set my bar high all the time. And when you set your bar high, guys, you'll realize you'll be making more than what you told yourself to make. And now that becomes your reality, right? So that's one thing I would say, guys, set your bar high, because in trading, anything can happen. And whenever I have a big loss day, sometimes, like, obviously I'll feel sad for a bit. Then I'm like, wow, if I can lose this much, I can also make that much. If you can lose 100, you can make 100. If you can lose 500, you can make 500, right? If you lose 700, 1,000, you can also make that much as well. So it's just about changing your perspective. So yeah, that's that. When increasing your lot size, how do you remain calm and collected? Do you watch the trades or set and ignore all the time? Throw the fear in the bin? I set and ignore, right? I'll use obviously a reasonable lot size for my account size, right? Any lot size that I use is reasonable for my account size, and I have more experience. And you can see that when you have your stop loss and take profit levels in. So let's say you enter a 0.10 minus 100 pips is like £70. If you're willing to lose £70 in that trade, or you're willing to lose £30 in that trade, and you'll be okay with that, then that's fine. So whenever you're setting your take profit, with that lot size, calculate how much you will lose. And if that's okay with you, then that's fine, right? You can always calculate that as well before you put your stop loss in, and then adjust it to how much you're willing to lose in that trade. That's why I always tell people, do not overlayer and do not, do not overlayer and do not set no stop loss, because you end up blowing your account, rather than just having 2 good entries. And if it hits stop loss, it is what it is. You won't lose as much as having 5 entries open. Also, guys, layering is so important. When you're entering a trade, make sure you're entering 20 to 30 pips apart. And we emphasize that a lot, because when you're entering like 10 pips apart or very close to each other, it's so easy for you to blow your account. Whereas if you layer correctly, because you have that distance between your entries, you won't blow your account and you actually make more. So yeah, I always trade set and ignore. I don't like stressing when trading, nothing, right? That's why I always use a correct lot size to my account, to what I'm willing to lose. Then I know, okay, cool, even if I do lose, that's fine. I can make it back in the next trades. How do you recognize trends like bearish or bullish, or when it goes into a resistance, etc.? So if you jump onto Ish's course, he actually explains that on all of his course. I will send some videos in the chat as well. But this is something you'll understand as you go along. I never understood this until like a few months into trading. So yeah, and you'll see it on the charts as well. So like support and resistance is just basically where the market continually hits those points before actually breaking out and going into an uptrend or going into a downtrend. So yeah, just plug into those calls, guys. I don't have enough time to actually explain that today. But please plug into Ish's calls, because they're amazing and you can learn so much. He does them on Tuesday and Thursday. He also calls up a couple of trades as well. So yeah, if you want to learn more about resistance and support, definitely hop on those calls. So basically when Ish sends a trade, you enter straight away. If it goes down 25 pips, yep. So up or down, depending on buy sells, you enter again. Yep. I don't know how to take TP1. I don't know how to take TP1 and TP2 in the same trade. Can you assist, please? Yep. So I don't know how to take TP1 two in the same place. So the TP1 and the TP2 numbers will be in the group chat. So you just modify, add TP1 to one trade, add TP2 to one trade. And as soon as the market hits those take profits, it will automatically take you out of that trade and you'll be in a profit. Do you ever extend SL? Yes, I'm a bit more experienced, so I do extend my SL sometimes. So whatever I'm willing to lose in that trade. So you can do that as well if you want. If you feel like if you've got a bit more experience or you've been watching some of the calls and you kind of understand the market a bit, if you wish to extend, you can do so as well. However, I wouldn't advise doing that. I don't do that all the time because they send trades they send 7 to 8 trades a day. Especially if you're in a scalping chat, they will send out zones as well. So I would just prefer to wait for the next trade rather than extend my sell and lose more. How do you advise managing our profits taken out per day, week, leaving an account to build? That's a very great question. And that is completely down to you. Everyone is very different. Myself, if I see money in my trading account, I will trade. So I would prefer to just withdraw my profits every single day so I have nothing in my account. That's me. All right. If you're more of if you're someone that likes to compound your account, you want to build it and you want to do weekly withdrawals, you can do it like that. It honestly depends on what type of person you are. Most of my clients do withdraw their profits every single day, and I would actually advise to do so because if you have we get signals every single day. It's not like you're getting one signal per week, or sometimes you get 2 signals, sometimes you get 5 signals, sometimes you get no signals. No, we get trades every single day. So if you have a certain goal that you're going to hit that day, I would say withdraw your profits, go again the next day. I always recommend that. However, if you don't do that, it's also not a bad thing. You can build up your account and do it weekly as well if you prefer to have more to trade within your account as you're building. But yeah, personally, I would just withdraw. And also, I like that because it's like whatever I make, I won't lose it the next day and I'm secure with my profits now. When we receive instructions to break even, do we use the stop loss at the entry or do we make the new stop loss a bit higher than the entries? Yeah. So just put a few pips higher. So you'll make like at least £1 or whatever. Or even if you move it to stop loss, it really doesn't matter as long as you've moved it towards your entry price. It always mentions pick the type of person you want to be. Would you set your stop loss and TP and leave it as we don't get so many SLs in a day because of how good our signals are? Clack it, yes. Or would you recommend adjusting your stop loss as we need to move quickly? What are your top tips when adjusting the stop loss? So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, my best tip when adjusting SL is to move my stop loss to entry only after TP2. And if this is how I trade every single day, I move my stop loss after TP2 and I let the trade ride to TP4 or 5. That's what I do all the time. So yeah, that's what I would say. And yeah, set your stop. If you're someone that's working every day, like I have a lady on my team. She is a nurse and she's making around 300 to 500 a day. And she just sets her stop loss and TPs and she just TP2, TP3, whatever it is. And she just goes about her day whenever she sends a signal because she has her, what's it called? She has her patients and stuff like that. So if you have time to be on your phone, obviously do. But if you don't, it's fine. Just set your stop loss and take profit and leave it. It just really depends on what type of person you are. Myself, when I'm trading. I'm not really doing anything else. I set out my time to trade because I saw a lot of people last week saying they had stuff to do, so they forgot to put their stop loss in, or they were driving and forgot to put their stop loss in, or they had an appointment and they forgot to put their stop loss in, and their account's now blown. Most of the time, that does happen. So when I trade, I make sure I trade. I make sure I'm not doing anything and I have solely dedicated that time to trading. And usually that's for me the morning. I'll wake up early. I'll make sure I'm in and out the markets by 11, right? So that's what I would do personally. And yeah, guys, if you are trading on the go, make sure you put your stop loss in before you do anything else because you don't want to blow your account. What advice would you give to someone to take advantage of a surge up as happened on Friday? Okay, cool. Let me see what happened on Friday. Okay, cool. So with the surge up happened on Friday, we actually have a scalping chat. With the scalping chat, so what the market usually does, right? It pulls back. So it will go all the way up and then usually it pulls back like 30, 40, like usually like 50 to 60 pips. When it pulls back now, let me actually share my screen and I can go through that really quickly. Sorry, guys, I know this call is long, but just bear with me. So can you guys see my screen? Just drop a yes in the chat. Can you see the whiteboard? Let me do that again. Whiteboard. Okay, cool. You guys can my screen? Perfect. So let's say this is an uptrend, right? Last week. So the market's going up in an uptrend. Or let me... So usually the market will go in an uptrend, right? It will go up, up, up. And then at one point it's going to pull back. It will pull back to this point. Here, I will use that as a re-entry for it to continue going up. Then it will pull back again. It never, market rarely ever just shoots up unless there's like a lot of news going on, right? But if it does shoot up and it's continue going an uptrend or continue going in a downtrend, I would take full advantage of pullbacks, right? Whenever a pullback comes, I will enter for a big lot size. When it goes back up, I will be in and out 20, 40 pips. So that's personally what I would do for if I want to take advantage of a uptrend or a downtrend. But again, that takes also some experience as well, because you also want to make sure you're entering at the right time. You want to know like if it is an uptrend or not. There's a lot of fundamental analysis to look out for as well. So yeah, just keep plugging into Ish's calls for that as well, because he does actually break that down. And if you're not in the scalping chat, ask the person who signed you up to enter the scalping chat as well, because they send out a lot of zones throughout the day. And those zones are for scalping, so literally in and out. So when I scalp, I use a big lot size. I'll be in and out 20, 40 pips, make my profit, that's it, and I'll bounce. So that's what I usually do for a scalping chat. So yeah, also guys, scalping chat is for advanced traders only. If you're new, I would not suggest entering that chat until you kind of know how to place a trade. Also, the minimum is 500 because the market does move faster. I would recommend trading the scalping chat for at least like 500 to 1,000. 1,000 is obviously the sweet spot because you can use higher lot sizes and take advantage of the scalping chat. If you guys are in the scalping chat, and if you speak to anyone in the scalping chat, they probably made the most money with the scalping chat, because literally there's so many zones throughout the day, there's so many pullbacks that golds makes, and if you're entering for a big lot size, you can literally make whatever you're making a TP for, and if like 20 to 30 pips. So yeah, that's that. Hope that answered your question. If not, please private message me. Can you explain calculated pips again, please? So Karen, I will send you a video or I'll send you a voice note for that, if you don't mind. Just message me after this call, and then yeah, I'll send a video. When taking partial profits, how do we take it all for TP1 to TP6, or just take the partial profits? You can take partial profits whenever. It depends. Usually when Ish says it, you can take it. But yeah, it just depends. Like if you're waiting for TP4, you can take partial trades. So let's say it's hit like TP2, you can close partials. So you've at least secured something on its way to TP4, just in case it doesn't hit TP4 and it goes away back to entry and you've made nothing. If you at least secured half of your profit, then at least you've made something for that trade. Maybe personal, what balance do you keep to start trading with? So personally, I trade with 3,000 to 4,000 every single day. So yeah, that's what I trade with. When I first started, I didn't trade with that much, but yeah, when you have 3,000 to 4,000, you literally have more room to use bigger lot sizes as well. And then I'm able to make my daily percentage or my daily profit a lot faster. So yeah, that's personally what I use. I can't withdraw from Vantage for some reason. It's my first withdrawal. Do you know why? So you probably withdrew your so whatever you've deposited. So let's say you started with 500, you've probably withdrawn that back to your card that you've deposited in. All you have to do is go to international bank transfer, and then add your card details, and you're able to withdraw. You just have to add your card details. That's so important. Yes. Scalping, where do you set your TPs at the same? So with scalping, it has targets, right? So it's not essentially TBs, it's just targets. And so when I'm scalping, I'm looking at the chart constantly. Once it's gone up 30, 40 pips in profit, I bulk close all my trades. How do we set stop loss and take profit when not with our phone? No, you can't. You have to be on your phone. You literally just set your stop loss and take profit as soon as you enter a trade. So you put your stop loss number, stop profit number, what's in the chat, and you do that. So would you put stop loss take profit too? No. If I'm going for TP4, after the trade, so after you've seen that the trade has hit TP2 or you see the alert TP2 hit, I will now move my stop loss to my entry and I'll ride it out for TP4. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you. How do I enter a trade? Perfect. I will send you a video on that because we've already gone through that and we're already into like an hour into the call, guys. Any other questions that I can answer really quickly? If it's for cool, pivot. Any other questions? If not, guys, please private message me as well. I'm more than happy to answer anyone's questions in the chat. And guys, use the chat, especially if you're new. Oh, my headphones are dead. Especially if can you guys still hear me? Just drop a yes in the chat if you can still hear me. Yeah, perfect. So especially if you're new, I would suggest to ask as many questions as you want in the chat. I love our community. I love our community down bad because everyone is amazing. The support system is amazing. So even if the person that signed you up doesn't reply or they might be busy, someone in the chat will. And I actually love our community and love each and every one of you on the call because everyone is so helpful. And so many people are new as well. So ask as many questions as you want in the chat. Never be afraid. Don't feel like you're the only person struggling because everyone started in the same place as you. So any questions that you have now, trust me, I had the same questions as well. Montel, Angel, Sharmina, we all had the same questions. So do not be afraid to answer questions, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap that up now. Rebel and I think it was Karen. Yeah, if you guys just private message me your questions and then I can answer them for you. If you guys got some value from the course, please let me know. I tried my best. I hope I gave you as much value as possible. I hope I didn't miss out anything. Again, if there is any other questions that you have throughout the week, please message me anytime, any day. I will provide as much value as I can for you. So thank you guys for joining the call. Before I do go, we have Mr. Montel Hansen right next to me, and he's just going to do a quick announcement before we end the call. So yeah, I'm just going to pass it over to him.
Fantastic. Guys, let's drop some sevens in this chat if you got some value just now. That was incredible. Go into the WhatsApp chat and just say thank you to Charlotte because honestly, it's just been amazing. We've been trading together, so I was trading for 9 years, trading for 8, and there were days we were losing 500 a day. There were days we were throwing our trading accounts. Days we may lose 1,000 a day. And to see when she's about, she's throwing 10K in a day, 50K in a day. I think Fridays she went through 10K. It was bad. So, guys, just showing you the progression of trading. I might click for you at the beginning. Think about where you're going to be the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. This skill set is a skill set where you can open your phone and you can go to Metro 5 and you can make money. Right? So don't think about, I need to make $1 million tomorrow. But guess what? I'm pretty sure you can make $1 million in the next 10 years if you stick and learn the skill set. If you keep plugging into these trainers, so just go into my WhatsApp and say, thank you, Sean. Guess what? She's adding to your knowledge of something that you didn't have before on this call, I guarantee it. And if you keep doing that every day, then I'm telling you, you'll master the kinds of this market and you'll get better. Now, just a couple of so guys, there are 2 chats. You can see in my telegram now that this chat is closed. So what I need you to do, if you're not in the new Telegram chats, make sure you message the person that signed you up. They'll send you the links to the new Telegram chats. And the reason why that is because we do refreshes every 2-3 months. Because we get so many people joining, you just need to refresh it. You guys are saying you can't hear me. Can you unplug the
Oh, sorry.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
No, it's on mute.
Can you guys hear me now? Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, I think you just missed my whole motivational speech about continuing to trade, but that's okay. I was just saying that there are 2 new chats. So if you're not in the new chat just yet, just message the person that signed you up.
they'll get you into the new chats. The reason why we do chat refreshes is because we've got, as someone said, the hand gestures help. That's jokes. It's because we have so many people joining the community. We have to do refreshes every 2 to 3 months. So what you're gonna do is just message the person that signed you up, get them to add you into the new chats. So you're there and you're ready. There's a scalping chat, as Shaman mentioned, that you want to be in, and there's also the gold standard chat that you should be in. So that's that. And yeah, guys, let's really smash it. I hope this call's added a lot of confidence to you. Every time I hear Shaman speak, it just gives me confidence anyway. So I hope that's had the same effect on you guys. And let's smash the markets. Apply everything that you learn. And like I said earlier, just get better and better every single day, because that's the key thing with trading. Just adding bits of knowledge to that bank account, adding bits of knowledge to your bank in your head, and then you can apply that into the market. So guys, God bless you guys. Let's see you tomorrow. Let's be up early. Let's be up sharp, and let's be ready to attack the markets. And just drop a thank you to Shaman in the WhatsApp chat if you got value. God bless, and let's get it.